Well, welcome, gem lovers. This is David Artinian, and I'm here with Stephanie.
Hi, everybody.
And it is Lunchtime Live.
Woohoo!
So, and what we are doing today is we are going to be talking about, every week we have a feature where we pick a gemstone, we talk about the gemstone. We're with Artinian Gems, and basically we're based here in beautiful San Diego.
And it's going to be a hot one today.
It's going to be a nice summer day today. Yeah.
Yes, finally.
And so, we feature a gemstone. We talk about it for your education, for your enjoyment, for your entertainment. And then, we're always interested in your feedback. So
absolutely,
let us know where you are tuning in from. Let us know your name. Let us know, questions about gemstones that you might love or you might have interested in.
Right.
Questions about rubies, especially because today
so we're featuring the king of all gemstones.
Yeah, ruby, which happens to be my birthstone.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, well,
all you July babies, you're lucky, lucky, lucky.
Yeah, July's birthstone. So we will be talking about ruby today. And by the way, if you have an interest in a gemstone and you would like to see other gemstones other than what you're seeing here, just reach out to us. Anytime you can reach out to us through our website, artiniangems.com. You can also reach out to us through email, info@artiniangems.com. So it's not just limited to the gem we're talking about today. We're here to serve you. If you are in the industry and you are in the business of the jewelry business, you can reach out to us. If you are in the general public and you just are a lover of gems, reach out to us also, and we will connect you with one of our trusted partners.
Right. And we can show you some lovely gems.
Yeah. So, one of the things I love about ruby is tell us what you know about ruby, Stephanie.
Well, one of the reasons people love ruby is, of course, the color, right? Ruby is beautiful red, and that red signifies passion and love and power, lifeblood. It's just been revered for centuries.
Sure has.
So that's one of the reasons that people love ruby. And red is so rare in nature, and this pure form of red that you can get with a ruby is just extremely rare.
Think about all the things in nature. What in nature is red?
Right.
There are some birds, and they're beautiful and they're highly prized.
Mm-hmm.
Some plants and those flowers, the red flowers like red roses,
hibiscus.
They're loved and appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
A red sunset.
Yeah, or a red moon, very rare.
Oh, yeah. So anything red in nature is highly prized and considered rare. So therefore, a red mineral, a red gemstone, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Plus, in many parts of the world, red is a lucky color.
Yes, very lucky.
And it's a signification of power and authority.
And also believed to protect as well.
Right. So the color of blood, the lifeblood of our bodies.
Exactly.
And so that's some of the reasons why red is, so popular.
And then ruby itself, some of the features of ruby is that it's a very hard stone. Mm-hmm. So you can wear it with pride. Don't worry about, scratching it up or anything like that. You could use it in an engagement ring. It would be a beautiful choice for an engagement ring. It is second to diamond in terms of hardness. So,
but it's superior to diamond as far as value.
Oh,
so
yes.
It is actually more valuable than a diamond.
And much more rare.
Exactly.
Much
in fact,
more rare.
I'm going to show you one here real quick. So I will show you a little later. I was going to share my screen with you. There have been some rubies that are incredibly valuable. Let's see. I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to share with one of the most we were talking about expense and value. So let's share our screen with you.
So this one is called the Sunrise Ruby. It's a cushion cut shaped Burmese ruby and weighing 25.59 carats.
My gosh.
And this one sold for $32.4 million. Yes, wow. With an M. With an M. Far outperformed any diamond.
Yeah. So, I mean, ruby actually comes very small. The sizes of ruby are not big at all. And so to find the rough that you can cut into this type of gem,
It
and
must
this,
have been like,
oh,
how many carats?
it was, I mean, generally, well, with gemstones, you get about a 20% yield. I'm sure they got a much higher percentage of
From that
yield.
one.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
that one, because
So it might have been,
yeah, I mean, at least double or triple
wow.
in order to be able to cut a gem. But anyway, I tell you what, let's look at some rubies while we're here. Let's look at the turntable.
Woo!
We've got some
Look at those
yeah.
beauties. Oh my God.
We've
Love
got some
them.
rubies to share with you. I mean, the most popular name brand of ruby is actually the Mogok ruby from Burma, or Burmese ruby, which is now called Myanmar.
Beautiful. Look at that.
This is a 1.23 carat untreated ruby.
Wow.
your
So
finest-
untreated, meaning
No
no
heat.
heat given to it at all. So a lot of rubies, actually, most of rubies
95% plus are heated.
are heated. And the reason for that is so that they can remove any silk, which is like tiny needle-like inclusions that may be in the stone, or try to get a better color. But these, which are super rare, because it's less than 5% of all rubies, are not heat treated.
Yeah.
So
So this
very,
this is a carat 23. This retails for 19,900. And I'm telling you, I got this one a couple of years ago, and the price has gone up.
wow.
Now I'm going to show you
Gorgeous.
another Burmese ruby. This is a Mainshu ruby. Now this is from another mine. This is closer to the border of Thailand. Now these have a purple core in them when they're unheated. So they have to heat them to hopefully burn out that purple core.
Oh, because otherwise it would show too much purple.
Yeah, it would be more like a purple sapphire. And this is a carat 42, and this is half the price of the Mogok unheated one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then finally here, well, the third one I have here is a beautiful Mozambique ruby. Mozambique rubies often have a little bit more, they don't fluoresce. And we'll show you what that means here in a minute.
Oh, it's so cool. And I think
Yeah.
one of the features of rubies,
Yeah.
actually, and you can actually see a little bit of the fluorescence right now, just in the daylight equivalent,
Yeah.
which is
Now this is a Mozambique ruby. It's unheated. It's a carat 17. It's 11,500. So it's less. It does not fluoresce like the Burmese will. One of the reasons why the Burmese fluoresces so much is it has a low iron content. And we talk about ruby and sapphire being the same gemstone, right? And
yes.
they're aluminum oxide, and
In the purest form,
iron
yeah.
is a coloring agent in the corundum material, which is the family name for ruby and sapphire. So if it is a high chromium, low iron content, then it's going to be it'll have the fluorescence.
Right. So those who have been following us weekly now know that chromium is actually a coloring agent for an abundance of gems.
Right.
So very interesting.
Now I'm gonna do something really cool here. I'm gonna show you.
Whoa.
Well, let's look at what fluorescence actually does. So what I'm going to do is turn some lights off.
Oh my.
So here we go. Here,
Okay.
look-
Yeah.
look at that little pair. Look how it
Oh,
glows.
wow.
This is a UV light.
Like orangey red, like
It just-
fire red,
It
like
glows like
it's
a coal.
crazy.
Isn't it amazing?
It
Now
is.
this one is your Mozambique.
So it doesn't glow as much.
No, not much. No, very little fluorescence. But look at this.
Oh my
Burmese.
gosh.
That's a fireball.
And now for the Burmese, they all fluoresce, is that correct? Or most of them?
Almost all of them. Look at this one. These two are
Wow.
Burmese, and it's more. It's found in marble deposits, and that marble is low in iron. And look at this. So you can see now. Burmese ruby is the brand name. That is the most highly prized color location for ruby in the world.
Right.
But ruby doesn't just come from Burma. It comes from, they found them in Tanzania. They found them, of course, in Sri Lanka, Vietnam,
Tanzania, yeah.
They also
Kenya, Madagascar.
Madagascar. I had some beautiful. One of my earlier trips was to Madagascar, when they were finding, they had found a deposit of ruby,
Mhm.
and I had to just, like drive all day through this little windy road, and we ended up in this little town, and we stayed in this little house with bamboo walls all the way around it, and we kind of stayed in there with our Thai friends, and we were cooking, and they brought the goose in the morning, and that's what we ate that night. It was
Oh, goose.
it was making all its racket, and that night we cooked up a Thai goose. And my friends who I was with were Thai, and they
Okay.
didn't speak any English, and I
Okay.
don't speak Malagasy or French, and so it was really fun when I would the Malagasy people bringing the rubies would speak to the Thai guy who spoke their language. Then I would speak to him in, actually
Thai.
it was Laotian Thai, so it was
Oh my
really
goodness.
interesting.
So a lot of things
They were
can
wondering
get
like,
kind
what
of-
language are you guys speaking? We have no, it's not English. It's not, it's, anyway, we had, it was quite a fun time there hanging out and buying ruby rough. But anyway, I like to go to Mogok, Myanmar, because not only is it one of the most beautiful places in the world, but I absolutely love the people. And the gems are absolutely magnificent, but they are very, very rare now.
Mhm. I mean, Burma has been a significant source since about 600 AD for ruby.
Yeah, I mean, they have a history that goes
Oh
back
my
over
gosh.
2,000 years. In fact,
That's incredible.
I've got stories and so on of finding those gems. So, hey, who wants to go on a gem? You want to go on a gem hunt with me?
Yeah, I want to go on a gem
Let's
hunt.
go on a gem hunt. Let's go to Mogok, Myanmar,
Okay.
and let's go to the Million Billion Trillion mine.
I love that name.
This is a very interesting mining area. Up top, they're getting ruby, and down below, they're getting sapphire, blue sapphire. This year, a guy found a ruby that was top grade, a big ruby, and he sold it for $3 million. If he sold it here for $3 million, you can imagine what it might have been going for retail. Again, we are at the mine called Million Billion Trillion. And I imagine you can guess what that means. It's because this has been one of the most productive mines in the Mogok region. We just saw a minute ago, they dynamited a big rock back there. This is actually, though, a day off. Today is the full moon day, and so if it was not the full moon day, this place would be packed with people, shoulder to shoulder, working and digging for gems. But today it's a holiday, so it's actually a really good day for us to see what's going on. What they're doing is they're sorting the gravel that they just brought up, and what they do is they get the big stuff off, and then they wash it, then they flip it over, and the ruby has come to the center and is sunk to the bottom. And so when they flip it over, the ruby material will be right on top. Watch this. Ruby, Titi. And they're going to look right in here where they'll find the ruby.
Yeah.
Look at that.
The Burmese name is Badamya.
Yeah.
Badamya is the name for ruby. Oh, look at that one. That's a little glowing ruby.
Yeah.
They find the spinel and the ruby together.
What's this?
And so you don't know what you're going to get until really.
Wow.
Pretty good, David.
It's okay?
This side, this side, this side.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. So I have to ask you, were there any rubies in that pan?
The pan, there were a couple little pieces, but I cut the video off at that point, so to make it add to the mystery.
to make you ask.
Add to the mystery.
Very cool.
You know, there is another color. There's another type of ruby here. I'm going to show you.
Okay, let's see some other rubies.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this these lights off right here for a second.
Oh, we
And
do have a question. Somebody did ask a question about what do you guys think a good price for a 1 carat ruby would be? Look at that. That's a star.
Star ruby.
Beautiful.
This is a star ruby from Sri Lanka. One of my favorite places to go is Sri Lanka.
Very nice.
And they do have ruby because they have sapphire, is because it's the same gem.
Oh gosh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Now I want to show you another one I got from. Now ruby is doubly refractive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of the material is doubly refracted, meaning there's always two colors. So what a lot of people don't
Right.
realize that ruby has two colors.
Yes.
It's either red and a slight orange or red,
Red
and
is like purple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see this one has got red and a slight purple.
It's gorgeous.
Now this one turned out to be a Sri Lankan ruby, and it's untreated.
Wow.
It comes with a GIA certificate
Gosh, that's
of
gorgeous.
authentication.
What's the carat weight?
Oh, that one, that's a rare one. That's 3.5
Oh.
carats.
That's one of our prize.
Yeah. Now
One
that
of
one,
our prized ones.
yeah, that one retails for 80,000.
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
David.
they're all not that kind of price though. So we have
That's
rubies that
incredible.
range from below 1,000 on up.
I mean, who has seen an $80,000 gem before?
Now I'm going to show
Right?
you.
You can see them
another-
here.
This is another prize. There's actually two gems here.
Now, are those Burmese?
These are Burmese.
You can see it
unheated.
with the fluorescence,
These
David.
are these are
Gosh.
unheated mocha.
Yeah.
Mocha.
Look at how they just fire up. They're just
Yeah.
incredible.
Those are untreated. It's a matched pair for earrings. It's 2.26 carats. They have a GIA cert.
Wow.
And these are for collectors. I mean, these are people who really value gems. They're looking for something, someplace to park their money in a
That's
legacy.
going to appreciate.
Yeah, it's a legacy piece. This is something like where in 20 years or 50 years or however long.
Yeah.
It's like people say, oh my gosh, you got one of those when it was available.
Right. Exactly.
That pair retails for 45,900.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, there we have some examples, but then we have, then we have an example of this beautiful little matched pair. You saw how
Those are
you
lovely.
saw how this little matched pair
Fire up. I
Fire
know.
up,
They're
yeah.
incredible.
with when we had it, we did the
Fluorescence.
fluorescence test.
Yeah, they were incredible. And the reason you want your ruby to fluoresce is that in the daylight, of course, you get a little bit of UV light. And
Yeah.
so you're going to get that glowing look.
Right.
Like the gem is just going to glow,
It'll
literally.
fire up, yeah.
And
And these tend to have less of a brownish undertone. Some of
right.
them have a garnety look. Some of the ones that have
Mozambique.
yeah, they come in higher
Mhm.
iron content. They
Right.
have this little bit of a garnet appearance to them, and that's not the most desirable. Now,
Right.
people ask us, they say, okay, what is the most valuable color of ruby?
Well, we should answer that question for,
Oh, which is the
for
question?
Ben. What do you guys think a good price for a 1 carat ruby would be?
That's a really tough question. It's like, what would the price be for a 1 carat diamond? I mean, it depends on the color. It
Color,
depends on the
clarity,
clarity, but
On the cut,
the cut. But with ruby,
location too.
it's a little more complicated with ruby
Right.
because you've got color. So let's talk about color first. Color, you want as much red with as little secondary color as possible.
So the secondary color being that purple
That
that you may
purple or
see, or the
orange.
orange
Yeah.
that you may see.
You want that to be more red. And you also want it to be not too dark in tone because color is three things: hue, tone, and saturation. You
Mhm.
want your hue to be as perfectly red as possible, your tone to be medium, not too much dark, not too light,
Right.
and then your saturation, you want lots of red in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's
So,
really,
yeah.
really pure
So that's
red,
your
really bright.
Obviously, clarity, you want the gemstone to be as clean as possible with not much silk in it,
Right,
crystals, no cracks. That
right,
increases the value. And then, of course, your cut.
right.
Because rubies are so rare,
Mhm.
they will often maintain the weight and it'll be off. The Q look could be wonky or
Which is the bottom of the
yeah,
stone.
it could be.
So it may not be a perfectly cut stone, and the reason for that
Yeah.
is they want to conserve as much weight as
Yeah,
possible.
and it also may not sparkle well because of the
Right.
cut. You've got to cut every gem to the perfect angles, and it's generally about a 43-degree angle to get that perfect sparkle, but that's not always
The case.
the case. It's not always going to be the best, gem for that. So anyway, you got those are your main, of course, then there's like the 1 carat size.
Is,
So, yeah,
is
so
like
you-
the desired
Yeah,
size.
your 1 carat gem can range from a couple of thousand to well over $10,000. It could be 20,000.
That's
For-
rubies.
for
I
a
mean,
1 carat.
everybody wants a ruby. And the better the color, the most the more desirable it is, the price is going to go up.
Exactly.
And also if you get a Burmese untreated ruby, it's going to command a premium.
Absolutely.
So you're going to pay more for that just because it
Yeah.
is a Burmese and they have that beautiful fluorescence,
Mhm.
which is a feature in this case.
And they've been mining
Um,
that area for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's not like there are more of them being made.
No,
So
this is not something you can get out of a
yeah,
lab.
very limited
Right.
supply. And then, you
Mhm.
know, people ask, well, what's the difference between a ruby, a natural ruby and a lab created ruby?
So many differences.
Yeah, well, the main difference would be, I'm just going to liken it to art. Okay, you can have an original Van Gogh, an original piece of art painted by the artist, and it has tremendous value. Or you can buy a print.
Right.
You can get a
So
print in a,
that's a good example.
prints are unlimited, but they look just as, the print looks just as beautiful. But
But to those that know, I mean,
Yeah.
any GIA gemologist can tell the difference by
Yeah.
looking at a ruby under
Yeah.
magnification. They can tell whether it's like a synthetic
yeah,
or
synthetic or similar or something.
Yeah.
So you think about a natural ruby has intrinsic value.
Yes.
Can be a legacy gem. It's something that
Will
will
just
appreciate
appreciate.
value.
Yes.
A lab created looks pretty, but it has no commercial value at all.
Right.
And
So
so it's
there's
just
your
something that
difference.
looks good and there it is.
Right. Exactly.
Not that I'm a gem snob, it's just that that's
well,
just,
those are the facts, though.
those are
I mean,
just the
that's
facts,
yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
I think let's take a look and see if we have any other questions. I hope that answered your question, Ben, and thank you for
thanks for participating.
watching. Let's see here.
Well, Stephanie, I noticed you've got something sitting here. I mean, what time is it? It's 10:22 Pacific
I
time.
know it's a little bit early,
little bit
but
early.
I
What do you got?
figured we would announce, we got to start the party, David. Like this is lunchtime is great and all,
Lunchtime.
but this
What are
is
we-
much better.
What kind of workplace is this? Where we're starting to drink at 10 o'clock? Are things really that rough around here that we got to start drinking at 10 o'clock?
No.
Okay.
No.
good.
We're moving lunchtime live. So
Oh,
for
okay.
those of you who have been following us, thank you so much. But we are now moving to Gem Happy Hour.
Gem Happy Hour. Yes, I like
and this
that
is
better.
our Ruby Sunrise.
Oh,
It's yummy, delicious.
yeah.
So join us next week at 3 o'clock Pacific time. That's 6 o'clock Eastern time. I got it right.
Same day.
Same day, Thursday, for Gem Happy Hour. We'll be sharing our cocktail recipe, as well as we will be talking about some other features of Ruby and history of Ruby. David has
Yeah.
a really good historical story
Yeah, I got
from
a
the
story.
Burmese people.
Yeah, I have a story I'm going to share with you. We're going to be talking about Ruby again next Thursday. It's such an important gem. But I'm going to be talking, and I'm going to share with you a video about the story of the very first rubies ever found. It's
Wow.
an ancient story from Mogok, Myanmar. There are a couple other stories surrounding it, but this is a really beautiful story about how they found the very first rubies in Myanmar. So
Very cool.
join us next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time.
3 p.m. Pacific
time
for Gem Happy Hour.
And we're gonna show you a cocktail, and we're gonna show
We're
you
gonna
how
make
it's
a
made,
cocktail,
and we'll
and
give
we're-
you the recipe.
And then there is a surprise ingredient. So stay
Surprise
tuned.
ingredient.
Yeah, stay tuned
Okay.
for that. And we hope to see you next week. Thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you.
everybody.
Yes,
If
thank
you
you,
have any
Stephanie.
questions,
Yeah.
reach out to us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I mean, we're here to help you. So if you got questions, you can reach us through our website, through Facebook, through Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, and we're here to help you find a beautiful gem. We're
Yes.
here to help. If you're in the business, we're here to help you. Any type of gem. I mean, we have thousands of gems. Our vault is full.
Vaults.
Vaults are full of gems. And we can show you on the turntable, just like we have here. It's really popular now. People are loving the fact that they can
these
join.
appointments,
Yeah,
right?
they can join in from anywhere and see a
Yeah.
gem.
So very cool.
So
Thank you, everybody, for
everybody.
joining us.
We'll see you next time.
Gem Happy Hour, 3
Gem
o'clock Thursday next week.
3 p.m. Pacific, 6
6
p.m.
p.m. Eastern.
See you then.